weeks ago, I discovered the existence of this club, talk show club. Is it official name? Okay, so when was it for?
I registered this semester.
This semester, the very first. Okay. I really appreciate your contribution, your service to this school. As you can see here, I came not only as a faculty member, but also as just individual person, just like you are working for our lives and our countries and for our neighbors. Francis, how much time do I have?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
You can speak for 40 minutes and 10 minutes will be the question.
Okay. Thank you.
It is
I wanna. This is not a lecture. I wanna just really share some ideas I have been cherishing, and please interrupt anytime if you need to ask any question or you want to share your ideas. The title looks very academic, but actually, I don't believe it. I don't believe it is academic. I believe this is quite realistic and very down to earth. First, I wanna share some of the verses I have been cherishing, by which I am inspired. Well, you know, KDIS School is a worldly renowned think tank, but a very similar expression, think tank. Have you ever known the think and tank? These two words have the same origin. So these two words stand from the same meaning. So think is equal to tank. So what's the meaning? This is the words I really cherish. Freely you have received, freely give. It was surprising that Professor Kim's message was very similar to what I want to share today. So the reason that the fact that we are sitting in this room represent the fact that we are more talented, more gifted than others outside this room. Have you ever thought about that? So let me ask a question. Did you choose your parents? As for me, I didn't. And my parents didn't choose me. So it wasn't my choice. So no one of us have chosen our parents. But we are so talented than others because of such inherent talent received from our parents. And not only parents, but also so many resources we have been using, we just receive from others. So we receive freely. So it is our obligation to share these resources freely. So there are two missions, I think. The first mission is a mission to me. The second one is mission through me. The mission to me is, in the words, appreciation. You may know there are two meanings of appreciation. The first, analysis. We have to analysis, we have to analyze, and we have to think. And the second meaning of appreciation is gratitude. Right? So it's amazing, these two meanings are included in one word, appreciation. I think this appreciation is mission to me. Vision through me is contribution. So because I have received so much, so it's my obligation to share what I have received with others. Um, not really literally because I'm getting paid by KDIS for my survival. So then what should I do for these missions? Those who have taken POA class, PPA class, you may remember what I want to stress every day is that your comment, your thing should be very insightful, and it should be very constructive. Insightful means our argument, our thoughts will be desirable to be counterintuitive, provocative, and paradoxical. And constructive approach. Let's do an exercise. We are encountering this dilemma every day. When you are working with your colleagues in your office, when you are just living with your neighbors, we are always struggling with this dilemma between task versus relationship. If we want to enhance the quality of task, inevitably we have to compromise some relationship. And when we want to maintain a good relationship, sometimes we have to compromise task. This very realistic dilemma. Then how can we resolve this dilemma? So this kind of fact is what I am interested in. So let me skip some academic words. So let me give you some examples of these actions. When you're studying SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, one of the facts you found very interesting is that among these 17 goals, you can find so much conflict and so many conflicts. The most exemplary case is the conflict between efficiency and equity. Efficiency versus equity. This is a very classic case, the dilemma in social science. When you want to enhance efficiency, you have to compromise equity. When you want to guarantee equity, efficiency can be compromised. So one example is Volkswagen Cafe. Whenever you are placing an order, you will find the lead time. Lead time means the time length you are served by the staff. The lead time is much lower than other cafes in Volkswagen. In other words, efficiency is rather low in Volkswagen. But do you know why? Why? Because the staff, they are disabled. So in order to hire the disabled, we are compromising some efficiency. So equity versus efficiency. This is a very classic dilemma we have to deal with. Then how can we resolve this dilemma? Efficiency versus equity. Well, one of the ways is to find a common ground through which we can find a synergy effect between these two things. So, in other words, do we have to produce more or do we have to share more? Well, let's combine these two words and we can say that we have to produce more to share more. Well, this is one of the ways to resolve this. And today I want to introduce some more specific concept of value management and success management. As you may have heard in my class, value management is about the bright side of value, and success management is about dark side of success. Quite paradoxical, right? And that is more realistic. We are suffering from this very counterintuitive aspect of life. It was 10 years ago, I started studying FM and SM. In those days, I did a literature review, just like you. Literature review. After this literature review, what I found was that no one had used these terms before. Failure management or success management. So I decided to make these terms on my own, and from that day I developed this new theory. So let me introduce some summary of FMSM. Data accessibility. We will come back later. Well, there are some general statements we are very familiar with. First, failure teaches us what works and what does not. It's true. We can learn more from failure than from success. It's also true. Success can be more harmful than failure. So those are the general statements behind that FMS. So what I wanted to do was to make a manual, systematic manual, just like the periodic table of the elements. You may have studied this table during your high school years, right? So we have to cram our head full of this some weird series of the words. So, but the benefit of using this table is, if you have this table, comprehensive list of chemicals on your table, it's very useful to use in a real life situation. So my objective was to make a comprehensive table or manual for failure management and success management. So as a result, I made some tables. Let's compare F and SM. Well, there are some proverbs we are so familiar with. So what I wanted to do to transform these well-known proverbs to theories. This is exactly what social scientists are doing. All of us are doing this. We observe something in real-life situations and transform it to some theory or model. This is exactly what you are doing while you are writing your thesis or SRP or capstone project. So there are some proverbs. Every cloud has a silver lining. Every crisis is an opportunity. Failure is the mother of invention. My power is made perfect in weakness. For SM, winner's curse. And if you think you are standing for, be careful that you don't fall. Winner's curse. Have you ever heard of that? Winner's curse. The very similar expression is lottery winner's curse. Do you have any friend around you who have won the lottery? Maybe not. If so, you will not be here. Why are the lottery winners cursed? Okay, this is not a official lecture, so your comment will not be graded. So, please really share your ideas. Why are winners cursed?
The people around them feel like they have a right to have a cut or
Yeah, right. So until yesterday, you were just a stranger, but because I won the lottery, from today you are my close friend because you are approaching me to get some money, and vice versa. Well, your relatives who never contacted you beforehand, they try to make a phone call, and they are approaching you. So the winner's curse, another expression is Another example is natural resources approach. You may be more familiar with it. What's the meaning of natural resources approach? Those who have taken the Korean development courses, one of the lessons of Korean miraculous development is lack of resource, lack of natural resource. We don't have natural resource. The only resource we have is human resource. So natural resource, well, it looks some blessing, but it's extremely hard to control properly the natural resource. So there are some dark side of success and the bright side of failure. So 10 years ago, I had to start from the operational definitions. The very first step toward academic work is to define the concept you want to study. So operational definitions, failure or state in which reality is inferior to goal, success and state in which reality is superior to goal. And so failure management, FN, is systematic ways to use the benefits from failure. SM, systematic ways to avoid the harms of success. So very fortunately, just like Professor Kim mentioned, I was so lucky. So successfully published 3 articles with my PhD advisor, Professor Paul Meising, and also my respected Professor Junesoo. So we together published 3 articles about value management and success management. Okay, let's go to some more interesting parts. There are many examples of FMS. Let's take this judo. Anyone who have played judo, you may know what judo is. Martial art, right? So what's the difference between judo and any other martial arts, like boxing or taekwondo? What's the difference between judo and boxing?
If boxing is about how many times you hit the person, and judo is about submission.
Sure. So in boxing, in order for you to win, you have to punch and hit your opponent. But in judo is a violation of the rule. Rather, in judo, you have to use your opponent's weight. It was about 30 years ago, I was playing judo and during my middle school. And one day, I played with my senior, who was much taller than me, much heavier than me. He came up to me very rapidly, but I didn't have any confidence to defeat him. But once a moment, well, I can't remember correctly, but what I remember is I defeated him using his own weight. He was tripped over my leg. So this is the beauty of the strategy of judo. So the more heavier your opponent is, well, the easier you can throw away. So this is the principle or mechanism for judo. Steve Jobs' death and iPhone 4S. When iPhone 4S was launched, it was most criticized in the market. There must be so many Apple big fans, but you may remember when the time when iPhone 4S was launched, it was mostly criticized. So the sales was really downward, but very fortunately for Apple, at the time Steve Jobs died. Please read my word. Very fortunately, Steve Jobs died. Can you guess what happens to that? Sales quality. Sales is skyrocketing because people thought that iPhone 4S was the very last legacy of Steve Jobs. So they wanted to possess the last breath of the Steve Jobs permanently. So Apple really strategically used their CEO staff for their sales service. Posting notes. It was about 4 years ago, the 3M, the global the company, one of the experts in 3M invented a new adhesive, and new glue. But it turned out this adhesive was not strong enough. Rather, it was so weak. So they thought at the moment it was failure, totally failure. But years later, one of the colleagues of this inventor discovered, hey, I have to mark on my books, and we can use this weak adhesive so that we can more easily and permanently mark my books. So you may know the name of the product is? Yes, Post-it notes. Post-it notes, this was the birth of the Post-it notes. And last one, it was 2 years ago, Coca-Cola's new CEO took the office. His very first message to their employees was, make mistakes. Please guess why he made this announcement. Jimmy, why don't you? Sure, because we can learn more from failure. Without failure, without trial and error, we cannot learn anything. So that was his very first message to their employees. Now, let me ask another question. Can you see any pattern, systematic pattern in these examples? I can, but any idea? Okay, I collected some cases. Okay, we social scientists, what we have to do is to find a significant pattern among this chaotic collection of cases. So we can find some pattern among these cases. So collecting about more than 500 cases, but I found that there are 16 different ways using failure. So this is a framework of failure management. As you can see here, it consists of 2 dimensions. The first dimension is the type of failure. What kind of failures exist? Efficiency, excess, instability. And the second dimension is for what purpose can we use failure? So we can save something thanks to failure. Thanks to failure, we can reform something. Thanks to failure, we can learn something. Thanks to failure, we can discourage something. Thanks to failure, we can attract something. Thanks to failure, we can complement something. The point is, thanks to failure. So there are 16 different ways using failure. So this is one of the frameworks of failure management. And other failure management framework exists. Now, the very last topic, success management. Please recall your first-hand or second-hand experiences of your success. So what are the dark sides of success? Excuse me? Satisfaction. Satisfaction must be something good, but if we are oversatisfied, it will be so problematic because we were trapped by some overconfidence. Yes, greedy and some stubborn, yeah, complacency. Very different answers. When we succeed, someone is more and more overconfident, so they aiming higher and higher and higher. They don't stop. But others, they just stop there, even though they have to go on and on. So very different types of people after success. Any other setbacks of success? Any other dark side of success?
It's hard over success.
Excuse me?
It's hard over success. Like after success, it's hard to get this satisfaction.
Right. You may have heard the term base effect. What's the meaning of base effect? Base effect is, well, last month, during midterm, you got 80 points out of 100. Your parents were so satisfied, were so happy. But during the final, well, you got the same 8 points out of 100. Your parents will be happy? Maybe not, because 80 was their own standard. New base. So we call this base effect. So it's really hard to satisfy ourselves more after success. Base effect. Any other idea? I'll go on. Okay, she also mentioned. Okay, that is another dark side of success because, well, the base effect. Others, and we already succeeded in discovering something, so it's really hard to overcome the previous success. Any other?
Separated from reality means we become a blind.
Okay, sure. We are blinded. We are overwhelmed by our success, so we are blinded. So we can trapped by some tunnel vision. It's really hard to get out of the box after success. One more.
I think people's expectation when you succeed, people expect more that you will succeed so and so. And it's very tiring to maintain that expectation.
Just our parents, right?
Yeah.
They are not satisfied anymore by 80 points. So far, we have been arguing about the dark side in the internal environment, just ourselves. Any dark side outside ourselves? For example, our customers, our clients, our opponents, our rivals. Any other dark side of success?
Become attractive.
You will. Very good point. So let me ask you something. You may have your favorite restaurant, right, in your home country, here or in your country. Do you hope your favorite restaurant to be more popular? No, because if it gets more popular, then it will be more crowded. So you have to wait more. Yes, it attracts more customers. So as a result, the service quality is dwindling and going downside. So yes, KDIS school is getting popular more and more applicants, and including me. This season is very busy time because we have to review applications. Every year we are getting more and more applications. We are getting more and more busy. Yeah, there are so many dark sides of success. Now, the very last question: how can you get over this dark side of success?
maybe realistic, try to answer the questions.
Mm-hmm.
First, what was the real reason for my success?
Yeah.
And second, is it the time safe for me, or should I go?
Sure. The two things. First, we have to remain very objective despite our success, so that we can make a very objective on episodes. And second, at every time of success or failure, we have to determine to go or stop. Right? Any other ideas about how to get over dark side of success? Finding new challenge? Sure, sure. Finding new challenge. KDIS school is pioneering new targets. We don't want to stop here. So probably next year or 2 years later, we will launch a new program, aiming targeting a more higher level government officials. So possibly you can apply once again for the higher rank program of KDIS. Any other idea?
Never take success for granted.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you have to remain objective, and you have to remain very fresh. So every time you are encountering success, you have to start from scratch. You should not take it for granted. Any other ideas?
Beware of the people who are short. Beware of the people who are short.
Yeah. Before you will succeed, you have to imagine what will happen after success. Then you can be better prepared. So we call that prepared success management. So there are three types of success management: prepared success management, planned success management, and improvised success management. But the most judicious course of action might be prepared success management. So if you have enough interest, please let me know. Then I will send you these articles through which you can see the details of the FM and SM. And around next year, we will publish a book comprising these three articles next year with Professor Sung-Ju Lee and Professor Chong. Okay, this is what I have prepared for today. I guess we already had a Q&A session, but if we have any comment or question, please feel free to share with us.
Let me ask you this, that there are a lot of benefits of failure. But you also said, yeah, it's success. We have background in successful, you are successful, you can trust a lot of people. But unfortunately, failure is a meeting with when, and for the person going through that experience, it can be very challenging. So, what is the best way? How do you manage, especially for the person experiencing failure? How do you manage this when you're going through experiencing?
Yeah. It's a really hard to answer, but you may remember the term failure of imagination. Remember that, Maru? Failure of imagination. We should be able to imagine the future. In the future, dark side of success and bright side of failure. We have to be able to imagine. But unless we have experienced this kind of things in the past, firsthand, it's really hard to imagine such a future. Then how can you imagine unprecedented future? How can you anticipate unprecedented future we never experienced before? What do you think? Nari,
Yes.
what do you think?
Sorry?
How can we anticipate the future we have never experienced?
We just need to first we just need to analyze the data that happened before.
Okay. So
Then
we
we
have to
can get some idea.
Sure. We have to analyze what others have experienced before. So that's why we have to be open to learning from others. We should be able to share our experiences with others. Very basic. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Once again, I really appreciate this time slot. I really want to thank for your contribution. My very last question: when do you leave? In December. Anyone who will stay here next year? Okay, some of you will stay here longer. In any case, wish you best of luck. Please keep in touch because you are already a part of the family members of KDIS school. To the day you will die. So we are